How's it going, guys? Phil Lanhart, J-Tech. This week we're going to do a complete air systems test, which involves making sure it doesn't have any leaks, primary and secondary tanks, and we're going to do that by watching the gauges, doing different tests, doing a walk around, and checking our check valves. So let's get to it. Alright, so our first test is going to be the low pressure indicator and making sure it, one, has an audible and visual signals, and two, it shuts off when a predetermined pressure is met. Which, with this truck, we're going to see at about 75 psi. We're going to run it at high idle until it does just that. And there we have the indicator shut off. Now we're going to wait for and simultaneously check our governor cutout. Once the pressure stabilizes and they reach 120 to 130 psi, our governor is going to cut out and release the excess pressurized air through the air dryer from which it is incorporated with. Once stabilized, we'll ensure our parking brake is applied. Then we're going to shut the truck off and start our first 2-minute gauge watching test. We'll be looking for no more than 4 psi drop in either system. So as you can see, we were fortunate enough to get a newer truck, and it does not show any evidence of leaking. Our next test is similar, but now our parking brake is going to be released and allow for the pressure to stabilize, and then we're going to watch again 2 minutes for no more 4 psi drop in each tank. So our final 2-minute gauge watching test is with our parking brake still released. We're going to hold our service brake for yet another 2 minutes and watch for yet another 4 psi drop. Just to be sure it's not in the primary secondary system itself, could be a different leak. We are going to do a walk around inspection and just listen for leaks. Alright, so coming to the last few seconds of our test, we have little to no drop in our, we would go investigate and do a walk around. So we're going to listen to all of our air system components, start from the air compressor up front, then moving back to the tanks, whether it be the wet tank, primary tank, or secondary tank, all the fittings that go along with that, all the connections and lines, all the various valves, the brake chambers, as well as the airbags. So now we're going to roll into our check valve test. It is draining one tank, our primary tank here. We're going to watch our secondary tank and ensure it does not drop. This test makes sure that the check valve separating the tanks is working properly, only allowing air from one tank to escape. So the same test here, but with the secondary tank draining and watching our primary tank not drop. This test is important because if our system loses pressure in an emergency, the driver still has a whole nother tank or system that he can go off of. So our final test here is testing the governor cut-in pressure. As mentioned before, the governor cut out when air pressure increased past a certain level and shut off the air compressor from building pressure by releasing the excess air. Now the governor is going to cut in when pressure gets below a certain level, starting the air compressor again and providing pressurized air. So that's it for this week for air systems testing. I'm Philip Lanehart. Thanks for watching.